Here's our guest speaker. Let me tell you, she's 5 foot tall and a lot of fun, the fun size. She was a locksmith. She decided she wanted more. She's always been an entrepreneur. She always went out and did things on her own. She never waited for things to come to her. That's what I love about her. She's like an eagle. An eagle will go attack what they want. They don't wait around like a buzzard. They go get what they want. I love the demonstration she did last week. That last week was amazing with the jar and the water. That was so powerful. Without further ado, can we give a warm welcome, none other than Miss Roxann Corralejo.
Everybody. Oh my goodness, I am in such a good mood today. It is bright out here in Las Vegas. There's not a cloud in the sky. I see palm trees out my windows. I see huge hotels. It is so pretty. But it's still cold. It's 45 degrees. I left thinking, yes, I'm so ready for sun. My face is looking pale. I want some sun on my face, but it's still a little bit chilly, but it's amazing. And I love that you said, Mr. Thomas, that I'm someone that just knows what I want and I go out there and get it. And why not? If you know what you want, you have to go out there and get it. It's not always going to come to you. So when I knew I was coming to Vegas, I messaged Mr. Thomas right away. If I didn't have his cell phone, I would have messaged someone else to get the message to him, say, hey, I'm going to be in town. Are you available? And that has how I've been able to accomplish so much is because I opened my mouth. I asked. Mr. Thomas is amazing. He could have said, no, I don't have time. Maybe next time. I'll see you at the next convention, whatever it is. But he is making the time to see me. And I am so grateful. And that is just the type of person you are. Super humble, ready to help anybody and everybody. Just even if it's for a taco, being around you is going to be so phenomenal. Because at these events, let's be real, everybody wants to talk to you. Everybody wants to see you. I get you to myself. So I am stoked. Thank you so much. So yes, our topic you did discuss. I'm super excited about this topic because it's meant so much to me. It really has changed a lot in my life. And I know Mr. Thomas said it, but I want everybody just to put it in the comments for me. What is our topic? What are we talking about this month? The reason being is because I want you to get in the habit of saying this over and over and over again. So put it in as many times. Everyone put in the comments our topic. You deserve better. You deserve more. So week one, I talked about my epiphany and how I came across this and how it just had changed everything. And I wrote it. Yes, I wrote it down on my mirror so I can see it day in and day out. Well, there was one thing I did not mention. Sometimes when we're on this trajectory and we have this positive, this clear water that we're trying to fill our life in, water gets murky. There's going to be stuff around us. There's going to be stuff that holds us back or tries to keep us back. And for me at that time, it was the relationship I was in, unfortunately. So I'm in the middle of the night. I write this thing just to remind you guys on my mirror. I am just so stoked. I want to see this thing every day in and out. I go back to sleep. Later on that night, in the middle of the night, my boyfriend at that time, so my ex-boyfriend now, he comes home, he sees it on the mirror, and he erases it. These $1 million words that I just felt so strongly about are gone the morning I wake up, the first morning where I needed to see it. So what do? I grab my marker and I write it again. I write it bigger. You deserve better. I go on with my day. I come home and it's gone again. This man has never cleaned our bathroom mirror the entire time I've lived with him. But it was gone yet again. And I'm like, man, I'm not going to let that stop me. So what did I do at this point? I went out, I went to the store, I bought a permanent marker. Mr. Thomas is like, he's out, he's got the boot. I wasn't there yet. I wasn't there yet. I'm only thinking about just thinking the bigger picture. And so I go out, I get this permanent marker and I write it on the mirror. I write big, bold, over and over. I highlight it. I'm like, you deserve better. Underline, exclamation point. Now it's taking up half the mirror. And this is just something I felt so strongly about. And we didn't have that discussion. I didn't say anything because I felt like it was going to be another argument and it just wasn't worth it at the time. So I did it. Little did I know, permanent marker is not so permanent on glass. He found the glass cleaner, which he had never picked up before in his life, sprays that sucker down. He's sitting there wiping it and make sure it comes off and it's not there. Now, for me, I'm thinking to myself, what kind of man would do that to something that's so powerful to someone? And he didn't know what it meant to me at the time. The only thing he kept thinking about is himself. So the reason why he kept erasing, me writing "you deserve better" meant I deserve better than him. He was thinking so small and I'm thinking so big. And early on in my life, I've always known I had dated someone years and years and years ago. This is before him. And I don't know how we got on this topic, but I told him I don't need a lot in life. I really don't. I'm kind of a minimalist. And there's only one thing. There's only one thing I want, one thing I need. That's the world. Just one thing, the world. And some of y'all are thinking, well, Roxann, that's kind of a lot. That's the whole freaking world. But the way I see it is that I was already promised the world. I've already been promised abundance. I have been promised anything and everything my heart desires, and anything and everything I don't even know that's out there. I've been promised that. And it's not up to anybody else to help me obtain that but myself. And so this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this big picture, how I deserve more. And I'm thinking at that time for us, we're living together. This is something that's going to change our lives. But he's thinking so small at this time. He's thinking about him. He's thinking about the stuff that he's messed up on. And then I'm thinking I deserve better than him. So he keeps erasing it. And we're playing this game of chicken back and forth, day in and day out. And let's be honest, how many of you guys would have given up? How many of you guys would have just said, you know what? I see hand go up, Mr. Thomas. I can say this to myself. I know I deserve better. I'm just going to keep telling myself. I can write it down on a piece of paper. I don't need to write it down on the mirror. This just isn't worth it. But if you aren't worth it, who and what is? That's my thought at this time, is if I'm not worth it, I'm going to play this game of chicken until I win, because I am thinking so much bigger. So you deserve more, you deserve better. But when we're talking about this, and if you're really being honest to yourself, oh, you know, it's something so small, I don't need to write down on the mirror, but it's really something big. What about everything else are you giving up on? How many of you guys have got a couple no's and got shy and has just given up? Or you're secret about your business and you're just like, I don't need to spread it out there on social media. I don't need to put it on my mirror. I don't need to tell everybody what I'm doing. I'm going to keep this to myself and I'm going to show them. I'm going to prove them. But you still keep it to yourself because you've given up that game of chicken. You have to go out there and tell everybody what you're doing, or you're not going to get any customers. That's the whole stinking point. And I love the fact that we've talked about this event that's coming up. They're going to show us how to properly use social media and how to get our business out there. That's what every other company does, is they get their business out there. But why don't we do that about ACN? We talk about all the time, oh, I do this business or I work for this person, but you don't really strongly talk about your ACN business. That used to be me, used to be. So it was Jen Olson. Jen Olson on last week had talked about Mr. Thomas. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. I think it was last week. Mr. Thomas going out and just talking to people. And it was so amazing because the first had to have been like 5 or 10 seconds into this video. So they put it in the chat. I asked, like, I haven't seen this before. I need to see this. They put it in the chat. I immediately, after Jen was done speaking, I go to that video and I'm watching this video. Within the first 5 or 10 seconds, Mr. Thomas tells a waiter that's waiting on them, you deserve more. That blew my mind. I'm like, that's our topic for the month. And Mr. Thomas said this, I don't know how long ago, to someone in this video that had already been posted. But those words really mean so much to me. And then later on, it was at the end of the video, he's talking to a group of 3 men. And one man he's a rotten apple, let's face it. He's saying, oh, I've done this before, it doesn't work, yada yada, seeing Mr. Thomas and all these people out on the streets, and he's saying that crap does not work for anybody, pretty much. And we have those rotten apples, and some people would just give up. And Mr. Thomas just laughs and said, it's all right, like, I think you need some more personal development, buddy. And he goes and he talks to the other 2 guys. Who would have given up, walked away, and let that rotten apple taints your other apples. Now, I don't know if anybody signed up. I don't know what happens out of that, but what we have to think about and take from that is that it doesn't matter how many rotten apples are out there. It doesn't matter who keeps erasing your mirror. You have to fight for you. You have to keep going for you. And that's what this whole topic is about. You deserve better isn't about what's happening in the world, who's in your life, getting people out of your life because you deserve better. I wasn't thinking about getting my boyfriend at the time out of my life. I was thinking bigger and better things. Hey, something has to be different. Something has to grow. I know I deserve more. Why am I not going out there and getting it? And do you guys seriously ask yourself that question? Because I know all of us at one point, one aspect in our lives deserve better somewhere. And for me, it's always a whole different bunch of aspects. I'm traveling all over the place, but I deserve to do more traveling. I deserve to see more people. So what that did for me, having to write it over and over, I don't know if it was just the words or the repetition. Because how many of us remember in school when we got in trouble? I was a sweetheart. I didn't get in trouble often. But there was one thing I did get in trouble for, and some of y'all can probably guess it. No, it wasn't for eating tacos in class. But when I got in trouble, I had to go to the board and write over and over and over again, I will not talk in class. I will not talk in class. I will not talk in class. Everyone just knew if I got in trouble, that's what I spent my day doing, is writing, I will not talk in class. And you want to know how well that worked? Obviously, I'm so shy and I don't talk to anybody anymore. It just instills in myself just kind of the person I am. And that's what this did. Writing over and over and over again, you deserve better. You deserve better. You deserve better. So it brought me back to when I would get in trouble for talking in class, that it didn't matter how many times I had to do that or how I got in trouble for, I still ended up talking in class. So it didn't matter who he was, how he was being, he did not matter. What mattered was me knowing that I deserved better. I deserved to go out there. And this is actually when everything started changing. I started opening my mouth more. And this is when oh man, I don't even know how long. It was probably several months after, as I continued to grow and develop, where Mr. Tony Kupas came out to San Antonio. Because I knew I deserved better. At that time, I had other people still calling me an executive team leader. People didn't know who I was, but all of a sudden, Mr. Kupas is going to San Antonio, and the rest of the co-founders are like, what's happening? Who is this person he's going out there for? Like, she's going to have, what, 5 people in a room? Who is this? But it's because of that fact, I knew I deserved better. I created that promise for the rest of my organization, the rest of my team. We had to come together. So you're not always going to be by yourself. Yes, you're talking about you. You have to focus on you. You have to be positive about you. Stop talking ugly about yourself. Stop looking in the mirror and saying, man, these jeans make me look fat. Man, I'm having a horrible hair day. Man, I can't talk to this person because they make so much more money than me. They're not going to listen to me. Man, that person is so stinking busy. There's no way I'm going to get their time. Nobody else in that room had that conversation with Mr. Tony Kupas. And I don't think to this day anybody ever has said, Mr. Kupas, come to my town and talk to my people. And what's so great and humbling about it, just like Mr. Thomas, he said, absolutely, I'm going to do it. And I love this company because as long as you open your mouth, you're going to get what you want and you're going to get what you deserve. But the topic and the point is, you have to go out and get it. No one's going to give it to you. You're not going to have Mr. Thomas walk up to you and say, hey, I want to come to your city and I want to present to you. You have to go out there and get it. You have to get what you were promised. And when we're talking about this positive, the demonstration last week, all that positive influence that needs to come in, the stuff that murks up that water, you could easily give up and stop being positive. Oh my goodness, coming out here to Las Vegas was difficult because of the storms and it was just a mess. Wednesday, we had like waist level snow in Utah and it was ridiculous. I thought my flight was going to get canceled. 1,400 flights got canceled, but my flight was still on. And I said, sweet, I get to the airport. I'm there early. Flight gets delayed. It's all right. It's only delayed a little bit. It gets delayed again and it gets delayed again. It gets delayed again. 9 hours in this airport. Y'all, I think it's only like a 3 or 4 hour drive. I could have came here, drove back, came here again. How long I'm waiting in this stinking airport. And I'm talking to my friends And I'm like, man, I can't believe I'm still here. These seats are so uncomfortable. This airport has none of those massaging chairs. I'm walking across this airport looking for a lounge. I want to use our Truby that I have. And I'm like, I need to hang out in this lounge. There's no lounge in this airport that I'm stuck at for 9 stinking hours. And it's easy to be so negative about that. And one of my friends, I had no idea, he's not active in ACN. He doesn't watch these presentations, but I'm messaging him. He saw it on Facebook. And he messages me back, keep your water clear. And I'm like, oh man, you are so stinking right. Keep your water clear. Keep that positive water coming in. And I said, you're right. You know what? We're all going to make it. I had friends driving out from California and it started snowing on them in Victorville. And she's like, this is the scariest thing I've been a part of. Californians don't know anything about snow. She doesn't know how to drive in it. So she's scared, but she's still coming out, and the positivity in that. And I just have to think everyone's going to make it eventually. It doesn't matter when we get there. Our plans are going to have to change. Everybody's going to be safe. We're all going to have a good time once we make it eventually. So when stuff happens in our lives, we have to make sure we keep our water clear. But again, that's on you, no one else. And I'm so thankful that my friend reminded me and pointed that out to me. So the last topic that last thing I want to bring up is when we're talking about you deserve better, is that, yeah, we're going to have those negative influences. We're going to have people trying to hold us back, and they don't mean to. They're not on the same level as you thinking. That's the point, is that they're not on your level. They're going to try to hold you back, not really trying to, but that could happen. And you can't let them win that game of chicken. It's up to you to keep moving forward. It's up to you to keep growing. And as you do that, those people end up fading out. Those people end up becoming a blur. My background here is blurry. Those are those people, but other people are watching you. I did not know my friend saw these videos. I mentioned when I would tell my friends, when they would talk bad about themselves, about their appearance or what they were going through, I tell them, stop talking ugly about my friend. That's not cool when they're talking about themselves. And they started repeating that to other people. Same thing happened here, is my friend saw me in what I'm telling you guys here. And he said, keep your water clear. You have no idea who's watching you. It could be kids, it could be family members, it could be friends, it could be complete strangers. But what you're doing will influence the world around you. And that's the type of environment you're going to bring in. That's the clear water that's going to be attracted to you. But again, and I want to say this over and over and over again, that it's you that has to go out there and get it. Some people are always thinking like, man, why is life always happening to me? Why is all this ugliness always happening to me? You have to go out there and make sure that that doesn't bring you down. You have to go out there and make sure these no's aren't going to hurt your business. Mr. Thomas could care less who said no to him. He went out and talked to more people. He went out and he got more numbers. He tried to tell people, you deserve better. And sometimes they're just not ready. Sometimes they're not on your level. And that is okay. It's up to you to keep moving forward. If we keep dragging this luggage, this baggage, I don't care if it's a sibling or your spouse. At that point, my spouse wasn't a positive person. I could have dragged him along with me to every ACN event. I could have kept pulling him. How much slower do we move when we're pulling extra baggage, when we have extra weight? We move slower and we're not getting to our destination. It is not up to you to bring other people with you. It is up to you to attract those people that are on the same level. So don't listen to everything that's going on. If you haven't seen this video, it really is truly uplifting because it's so simple. From the peak to the getting the number, it's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy how simple and easy it is. And I can talk to anybody. I really can. But seeing this video from Mr. Thomas changed everything so much to me. And I'm like, why am I not talking to 100 people a day? How easy it was. I can spend 3 hours and seriously talk to 100 people a day. Walking the strip here, which Mr. Thomas probably already talked to half of them, but I can seriously walk the strip here and get so many numbers, go back or go wherever I'm going to next and make those phone calls and start building a team here in Mr. Thomas's town. So go back and listen to this video. I hope you're taking as much from this, and just remember that if you're not where you want to be in this business, if you're not where you want to be financially, if you're not where you want to be in life, it's up to you. It doesn't matter what's happening. It doesn't matter what the world around you is doing. It is up to you to go out there. It is up to you to go out there and take what is already yours, y'all? It's already been promised. We know it's been promised to us. Why are we not grabbing the world for ourselves? So what's going to motivate you? If you aren't worth it, who and what is? Fine, we say that reason why, but that reason should be you, because the more you progress, the more you're going to help anybody and everybody around you. Thank you so much, Mr. Thomas. This has been just one of my favorite of all time topics. And I'm glad I get to talk to you guys, and how it changed my life. Just 3 simple words. So tell yourself every single day, look yourself in the mirror. Don't say I deserve better. Say you deserve better.